there's no snow out there. Time to get some of the good summer cars out. Like this one. Welcome back to the laboratory. There is one thing keeping us from driving this thing, and that is it needs a vehicle safety inspection. Here in Manitoba, you have to have vehicle safety inspections on the cars to register them for using them on the roads. Now, I've got the vehicle inspection handbook. I've got the vehicle inspection form. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this. Now, I am not a licensed mechanic. You need to be a licensed mechanic to fill out this form and submit it. I am just a licensed engineer. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just going to go through everything on the car, try and identify any issues that might fail the safety inspection, fix them, and then when it actually has a safety inspection done by a registered licensed mechanic, I know that it's going to pass. So we got a list of, I don't know how many things are on the form here. 81 things on the form to check off. Now, I'm not going to bore you with 81 minutes of checking everything, but we're going to go through and try and highlight some of the more important things and just, again, go from one end of the list to the other to make sure that there's no issues that's going to keep this thing from getting registered. So let's start with number one. So I actually got a newer form here, and this one's actually only got 71 items on the list. But how this works is for every item on the list here, for example, focus. Well, anyway, first thing is looking for a vehicle inspection number, make sure it's not been adulterated in any way. And then it lists a reference section in the book. So that's where you can go into the book and get more details on what's good, what's bad, and whether it's going to pass or fail. Okay, so first item on the list is the VIN. And I'm not going to show it to you, but yeah, there is a genuine vehicle identification number on this thing that hasn't been adulterated. Next thing on the list here is neutral safety switch. Now, this is a 4-speed, but it's got a clutch safety switch. Let's just make sure that we can't crank the engine without the clutch depressed. Okay, so we are in neutral. It won't crank, but if I press the clutch down, then it will crank. Okay, so we know the clutch switch is good, and we're not going to accidentally start this thing and have it rolling into somebody. Next on the list is the accelerator pedal. They're looking to make sure that the pedal works. I can assure you it works. Make sure the mounts and linkage and everything are intact, and it's got proper return springs. Okay, so if we look, we can see we've got proper return springs, we've got a proper mount, everything is secure, and again, I can assure you that accelerator pedal works. Next on the list is sun visors. We've got them. They go down, they go up, they stay up, all good. Next is the horn function. So, we found the problem. Okay, I can assure you that there are horns under there because I saw them, but evidently we need a new relay. Okay, so we've got an item that we need to address. Next is mirrors. So we got an outside rear view, we got an inside rear view. They're both clear, they both work, they're both good. Up next is the windshield wipers and washers. So I know that the wipers work because we fixed that in a previous video. We fixed the wiper door, but I know that the wipers work for sure. I've never tested the washers yet. Now there's a little bag here where the washer fluid goes. It was bone dry. So I don't know if that's a sign that that bag is leaking or if the previous owner just never bothered ever filling it up. Anyway, so we put some fluid in there, and now let's see if we get windshield washers. I know the wipers work. I need to start the car to do this. I'm just going to spray some soapy water on the windshield so we're not dragging dry wipers across the windshield where we could possibly scratch it until the washers actually start pumping up, because it could take a while. Okay, so that was not the result that we wanted. Okay, so we've got another item on the list that we've got to deal with is we have no windshield washers. So let's see if it's been actually drawing up fluid to the pump. And it looks like it's a little bit wet. So we'll have to take apart the pump and see if we need to put a new diaphragm in there. Next is our defrosters. So we don't have to run the engine to do this. Fan blows. We can set this to, where are we here? Bi-level. Okay, so there's defrost all the way down there. And we can feel we're getting airflow through the defroster vents. So that's a pass. All right, going back to our list. Next is speedometer and odometer. I know those work because I drove it last year. Windshield and windows, they're all in good shape, no cracks. Switches, not sure what they're talking about there, so we're gonna have to consult the book, section 5.8, and see what that's all about. So switches was just the switches to operate the vehicle and get the thing running, like ignition switch, etc. That all works great. Next thing on the list was clutch and brake pedal pads. They're a little bit worn, they're original, but they're still good and they're still there. Next up is the parking brake, which I know works and releases. Okay, and the hydraulic brake, which power brakes work. Brake pedal travel is good, it's stiff. Hydraulic master cylinder has got fluid in it, so that's all good. Next on the list is steering, lash, and travel. That's all good, I've driven the car. Clutch disengagement, that's good. Handlebars, yeah, that's for motorcycles. Anti-lock brake indicator, we don't have ABS, this car's too old. Stability control, same thing, it's too old. Lamps, this is again for motorcycle only. Okay, seats and restraint systems. The seats are in good shape. The seat belts are there. Supplemental restraint systems, we don't have any of those. Okay, so that gets us through that column. Next, headlights. Okay, so headlights, turn signal lamps, park and control lamps, side marker lamps. So we need to check all the lamps on this thing. Let's start with the headlights. Okay, so there's parking lights, and we've got dash lights and interior lights and gauge lights inside here, so that's all good. Okay, there's our low beams. When I find the switch, there's our high beams. Headlights close back up again. Okay, so we just got to check tail lights, brake lights, turn signal lights. So there's the left turn signal, there's right turn signal. Let's go and do that again from the rear. Okay, so from the rear of the car, there's our lights, there's our brakes, there's our left turn signal, there's our right turn signal. Okay, and let's take a lap around and just check all our marker lights to see if they're working. Okay, so that marker light is out. That marker light's working. That marker light's working. And these rear marker lights, well, that one works. So we've got one marker light out on the driver's side that we're going to have to address. One other thing to check here is the reverse lights, so let's see if they work. Key is on. Okay, we are in reverse. And we have no reverse lights, so we need to fix that too. Okay, so still on the lamp theme, we're going to check the hazards. So we're going to flip the switch. We can see the indicators on the dash are working. Okay, so that one's working, that one's working. And make sure on the front everything is working as well. Okay, so that's good. Hazards are good. Back to our list again. Daytime running lamp. Well, we don't have that. The car's too old for that. Body and bumpers, they're in good shape. Trunk, we don't have one. Doors and door latches, they all work. They all look good. Kickstand, that's for motorcycle. We don't have that. So that finishes off the first section. Next section is undercarriage. So the flooring, we checked, there's no rot, there's no holes. Kingpins we don't have. Wheels, tires, and clearance. The wheels and tires and clearance are all good. Ball joints, I checked that before, they're good. Steering linkage, same thing, it's good. Steering column coupler. That one I might want to go back and look at again because I can't remember. So let's see if we can see it from the top. Yeah, it's there. I don't see any rips, tears, anything. It looks like it's in good shape. Okay, back to the list again. Okay, frame and unibody, that's all good. I've been underneath the car. Springs and attachment, well, we just did that in the previous video. Shocks are all new, they're good, nothing's leaking. Brake lines and hoses, all the brake hoses are all new, nothing's leaking there. Wheel bearings are good and tight. Fuel system is good, nothing's leaking, nothing's rotted. Exhaust system's all good, no leaks. McPherson struts, we don't have McPhersons, we've got shocks. CV joints, we don't have them. We got U-joints and they're all good, I checked them. Okay, so that brings us up to the next big thing is brakes. We got to do some measurements here. So we've got to measure the rotors, we've got to measure the pad thickness, and we've got to look up in the shop manual what the maximum, or sorry, what the minimum rotor thickness allowable is going to be for this car. So let's find that. All right, from the factory GM shop manual, it says here when the total disc thickness is less than 1.215, it needs to be replaced. So that's our minimum thickness for our discs. So now we need to start pulling off some wheels and starting to measure our rotor thicknesses and our pad thicknesses. All right, to get our brake data, we've taken off the rear wheels. We found a spot here where there's a little gap in the heat shield that we can get the caliper in here. And if we squeeze it down, we're at 1.245, which these are like brand new rotors. For the brake pads, we got our gauge here. And what we're going to do is try the different ones here. So it looks like we've got 10 millimeters is a bit too much, and 8 millimeters is not enough. So the inside pad is going to be 9 millimeters, and if we look at the outside pad, it's the same thing. So we've got 9 millimeters of pad thickness here and 1.245 of rotor. So we'll go around, we'll check all of the rest of them. I'm not going to bore you with that, and we'll fill out the form to make sure that all of our brake specs are going to be in the passing range. So we got all the brakes measured, got everything put back together. Now there's one last measurement that we need to do, and that is the tread depth. So we've got a tread depth gauge here. We're just going to find a couple of places on the tire to check. So that's showing 10, 30 seconds. That's showing 11, 30 seconds there. Let's try another spot here. Well, that's right on the wear bar. That one's showing 10, 30 seconds there again. 10 there, 10 there. So we're going to say 10, 30 seconds tread depth on this tire. We're going to go around and check the rest of them and then fill in the form. All right, back to the form. So front and rear disc brakes checked out. We don't have drums. They checked the linings, they're good. Okay, wheel cylinders, we don't have them. The calipers are good, nothing's leaking. Mechanical components all look good. Hood and safety catch, that all works great. Wiring and battery, you know what? The battery's missing a hole down, but I know where it is, so we'll put that in there. I'm just going to highlight this so I don't forget about it. Vacuum hydraulic system, vacuum system's all good. We just did a video on that. Okay, so we filled in the tire tread depths. We filled in all of the brake thicknesses and what the minimum is, and we've made notes here on the, oh, by the way, the horn. Gave a few taps to the horn relay with a tiny hammer, and now the horns work great. So that one's fixed. So we need to figure out the reverse light problem. We've got the driver's side rear marker light and the washer, windshield washer. We've got to fix that. Once we get those things fixed, then we should be good to go. Call in a mechanic and get an official safety done. So there is our pre-inspection safety inspection. So we fixed the horn problem. I looked into the side marker light and the bulb is good, so that means it's a wiring problem. I love wiring problems. Same thing with the washers. I looked into the washer situation and the pump is not even moving in the washer pump. So I don't know if the solenoid's not energizing it because of electrical problems or if there's a simple mechanical problem, but that's going to be a bigger fix than I was hoping for. The reverse lights don't work because the reverse light switch is non-existent. So at some point somebody did some transmission work on this thing, replaced the transmission, never put the reverse light switch back in. So I'm going to have to order up a new switch. Don't know how long that's going to take, but I think it's a safe bet that I'm not going to be cruising this weekend with this thing. So We'll order up the parts that we need. We'll dig further into the washer problem and the wiring issue for the marker light. But all said, that's a pretty long list, and we've only got 3 things to fix. So I guess I'm happy with that. We're not going to do videos on these fixes because they're minor little fixes. But anyway, you're probably going to see more on this thing when we do some more major fixes on it or major changes on it. But in the meantime, if you've watched this far, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the likes, comments, subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. As usual, be kind, be humble. See you next time. Slated. And there it goes. And I just swept. Evidently missed a spot. So we'll have to take apart the pump and see if we need to put a new diaphragm in there. Crap!